Once again, welcome to a new problem. This is economics, and we're thinking about closed and open economies. Uh, Obviously, the names themselves give away the meaning of a closed and an open economy. When your economy is closed, there's the least or no interaction, with uh, other economies least or no interaction with other economies. When your economy is open, you have uh, most or some interaction with other economies. Some interaction with other economies. On the closed side, we're saying that we're not going to have any exports, we're not going to have any imports, we're also not going to have any capital flows. That's the opposite of what happens in an open economy. So in an open economy, we allow capital flows, we allow imports and exports to move freely. Now, in this question, we're saying the assume that the government or the federal government or the government spends without increasing taxes. So the federal government spends without increasing taxes. Um, uh, how does this action um, affect real GDP and the price levels in both the so we're looking at both the closed versus open economy, closed versus open economy. So that's what we're saying. If you spend without increasing taxes, what's going to happen in the case of an open economy? So, we can have a table where on this side we have a closed economy, and on this side we have an open economy. And we want to see the attributes in terms of spending without increasing taxes. Spending without increasing taxes. So what happens is the increase in government spending increases aggregate demand. I know some of you are thinking, "Oh, aggregate demand. What's this thing called aggregate demand?" When you think about aggregate demand, it's pretty much the demand that you get from final goods and services in the economy. The demand that you get from final goods and services in the economy. That's the aggregate demand when you think about it. So, well, if you in a closed economy, if you're spending, that's what's going to happen. There's going to be an increase in aggregate demand, and you're also going to have increases in real GDP because of the increase in aggregate demand. And also you're going to have increases in prices, or the price level. So you're going to have increases in real GDP, and you're also going to have increases in price level. The problem, though, is that increasing, or rather, instead of saying increasing, an expanded fiscal policy raises interest rates. An expanded fiscal policy raises interest rates. And this one of increasing interest rates has a negative impact. It reduces domestic, or it reduces investments in domestic projects, and reduces the buying or purchases of consumer durables. So that's what happens. It reduces purchases of consumer durables. And in the long run, and eventually slowing down increases in real GDP and prices. So that's what happens. Initially you increase aggregate demand, affects interest rates, and then when the interest rates come in, they're obviously going to have the opposite effect in terms of investments and spending in consumer goods. On the other hand, in an open economy, as we've defined, an open economy is where there's capital inflows, open flow of goods and services, imports and exports in and out of an economy. Increasing government demand increases, or rather increasing government spending, not demand. Increasing government spending increases aggregate demand. Increasing government spending increases aggregate demand. The result is that you have an increase in real GDP, and you also have an increase in prices. But here is where things change. Increasing spending results in higher interest rates, making the value of the dollar stronger compared to other currencies in the foreign exchange market. As a result, or this results in a decrease in exports because it's much more expensive to buy products when your currency is stronger. It's much more expensive for outside countries to buy products from you if the dollar is stronger. And so the expanded fiscal policy is least effective since it leads to smaller increases in aggregate demand. And smaller increases in aggregate demand results in a slow increase in real GDP or prices. So so that's what happens, when it comes to an open and closed economy. So once again, we have this problem, and we compare the closed economy and the open economy, and the impacts of government spending. In the case of the open economy, the effects are coming off of outside countries in the forex, in the forex exchange market, where the value of the dollar, for example, goes up because of higher interest rates. In the case of the closed economy, you still have the same thing: increases in real GDP, increases in prices, increases in aggregate demand. But the problem with that is that it reduces investments, local investment in domestic projects. And so consumers also, their purchasing power goes down. So hope you enjoy the problem. Feel free to send any questions or comments, and have a wonderful day.